We're here at Cadwell Park and it can only mean one thing. It's the first round of Time Attack. We're here a day early, so we're here for a day of testing with Nick. He's already out on track. We've done a few revisions on the map already, a couple of tweaks to tyre pressures, and really trying to get to grips with how the car's performing and going to be handling for tomorrow. Tomorrow being the important day for us where we start the timing and the point scoring. So let's go and give the car a shakedown and see what we got. Before we get into the action, let me bring you up to speed on how we've got to where we're at today. Rewind a good 6 years ago, back to 2019, we competed in Time Attack in the Club 2-wheel drive class. Our car was proving to be fairly competitive, and after a few rounds, we were fighting for the championship. Come the end of the season, we ended up picking up a first place overall win. Back in 2020, when the Honda Swindon factory closed down, we ended up purchasing their 24-hour race car with a view to make that our new Time Attack car, ultimately going up a class. Unfortunately, once we got to grips with the car, we realised there wasn't too much that was going to translate across onto the road-going cars and the road-going market. Therefore, we're back supporting the competitors that are in this season of Time Attack and really going to try and push the road-going platform. There's 4 cars competing in Time Attack this season, 3 of which you'll see in this video, and the 4th we've yet to see. The 4th car is Aaron's car. Really intrigued to see what Aaron's going to bring to the track. We've heard it's going to be a good, solid build, very similar to Nick's car, so we're hoping for some intense battles later on in the season. We've covered a fair bit of the build-up and preparation of Nick's car, so if you haven't already, we'll go and lay a link to it up on screen, go back and check that one out. We've also got part 3 coming out that will follow shortly after this video, but for now, let's get straight back to the action. We've just got back from scrutineering and we've been picked up on a couple of things. Firstly, we've got a brake light bulb that we need to get sorted, but more importantly, we've got to need to cut down the rear diffuser. We're allowed 100mm of extension, so on these corners here, they're going to need to be dressed back. So I'm going to go and grab an angle grinder now and we'll get these cut back.
Okay, so basically at this point now we've tested the car's driving amazingly. At the end of today they decided they'd do some scrutineering testing, so we've took the car to scrutineering because obviously with it being freshly built we've stuck to the word of the law and the regulations as much as we can, but you never really know 100% whether it's going to go through regs until you get the guys to look at it. So after they had a look at it, unfortunately they told us that the diffuser in some of the areas was a little too big. So we're working to 100mm, no more than 100mm from the back of the bumper. So now what we're doing, and Phil there, very delicately grinding off a little portion like this just to bring us back within regulation. So, and once we've done that, car's ready to go and we're ready for competition tomorrow.
back from the first warm-up session on track, and both cars performed very, very well. Nick put in a 1:37.6, which is a particularly good time for his first warm-up session. However, we weren't able to get to the pits in time to be able to support the drivers and adjust the tyre pressures that we need to. So the cars came back with hot pressures of around 36, 37 PSI, so not in the ideal window. We'll make sure we get down early to be able to support both drivers.
I'm David Frost, I'm one of the drivers here racing at Time Attack with Dream Automotive. Heavily modified Time Attack Civic. It's got extensive carbon fibre bits and cooling modifications on it, running about 400 brake horsepower. This is my first year running Time Attack. I got into Time Attack because it's a natural entry into wheel-to-wheel racing, which is ultimately where I want to take the Civic. I also use this to build up my skills for the charity work that I do with Mission Motorsport, where I use my car to help reintegrate injured and turning veterans back into civilian life.
Hi guys, I'm Dan Buckingham. This is my 2018 Civic Type R. Had the car for 4 years now, and this is my second year of Time Attack. Last year was my first year of doing a full year in Clubman class. Nick and David's car, they're in the class above due to regulations. In Clubman class, you've got to more or less keep the full interior in, apart from the back seats, you can take those out. Similar spec to David's in terms of performance-wise, in terms of power. Power-wise, it's running about 380 horsepower. Exhaust, Miltech exhaust, remap, stock turbo. The rest is all done chassis-wise, which is probably where I'm a little bit different to David. So I'm running 912R3 suspension. Brakes is the big AP Racing British Touring Car conversion kit. Running Dixel pads front and rear. The RE compound as well. I'm running pretty much all the white line parts, all the hard race parts that you can purchase from the catalogues, just to tighten everything up. Yeah, it's a great drive.
Across the grass.
You're okay, it's just grass.
Yeah, just the grass is real nice and level.
Drama. There was a little bit of grass cutting maybe involved. There was a little bit of possible deselection of gears involved. But the long story short is that we pretty much had P2 at one point, so we know the car's fast and we know it's right up there on pace. We just need to make sure that A, I'm not going off and I'm not locking brakes. So maybe just a few setting changes and then we'll get it dialed in properly. But for now, we've got to do some fixing, guys.
So that didn't quite go as planned. Obviously we've got a couple of problems with Nick's car. I know Dan down the other end of the pits has had a couple of problems with brake lines as well, but that is part of racing. This car behind us, it's struggled with fourth gear. We've actually lost fourth and second gear, which means that we're going to need to strip the gearbox and find out that root cause. I suspect it's going to be a selector that's probably stretched open and not allowing the gear selection, but time will tell until we get the car back on the lift. But for the rest of the day, we'll follow the rest of the competitors around. Hope that Dan's going to get his car back together, and we'll see some more action on track shortly.
Second session out. First session we only got a couple of laps in due to red flag, so second session was able to get out, start putting my foot down. Going really well. Got a decent opening lap in, 1:39 something, which beat my personal best from last year, which was 1:41 I think it was from memory. Sights on doing lap record, I think around here in class is 1:38.9. Halfway through my next lap, everything's green on my Garmin, beating personal best, so it should be low 1:38s. Coming to the bottom of the mountain, slammed on brakes, brake pedal goes to the floor, struggled to stop it from 110 to a 30 mile an hour little chicane, somehow got it stopped, got it round, tried the brakes going up mountain, no brake pedal, coasted back round, pulled into the pits, and there is absolute brake fluid galore all over the wheel, over the arch. Shut it off, called it quits, somehow drove it back to garages, so to speak, and yeah, it looks like we've burst the brake line. Anyway, thankfully, just want to say a big thank you to Phil and the rest of the guys at Dream. I have got a spare, however, it looks like the spare is not long enough. However, thankfully, Dream have got a full working spare. So, all being well, we can get this on and get back out for the afternoon and hopefully go even faster, but more importantly, stop.
Like it at the top. And then after like I thought, right, I'll try, and then first I've got, third I've got, first I've got, so I've got first, third, maybe fifth.
We just got back in from the first proper round of time attack here at Cadwell, and as you can see the car's absolutely steaming, so we're just letting it cool off. Our target for today was to set a 144, maybe a 144.5. We've just come back in, we've got an unofficial time of a 141 flat. So our goals for this round of time attack today have been absolutely smashed out the park. So now we're going to take that a step further and we're going to shoot for sub 141 into the 140s and hopefully find that magical 139.
Extensively in the Honda K-Series swap. So like Cognac Cremant.
Yes, I went off skis. Thankfully, other than new underpants needed and Pride being hurt, there was no damage to the car whatsoever. All going well, obviously trying to get some confidence in myself under that brake pedal pressure. Anyway, after a quick pit stop of checking tyre pressures, went back out, did a slowish out lap. I thought we'll go and put our foot down into turn one a little bit more. So speedo's reading 120, thought I'll tip it in. Tyre pressure's a little bit cold and tyre temperature a little bit cold, and yeah, just packed up for the rest of the session, got it back, checked it all over.
Right, we're back in the paddock now. We've just finished our second round. The next round is the final round, so the guys behind us are frantically working away just to get a little bit more cooling in those front brakes so we can push the car that little bit harder, get that little bit extra time out, because the final round is super attack.
But also, I think you could benefit from dropping another PSI or two out your front.
Actually, I'm sure that's where that's rolling over there.
Yeah, I'm definitely stuttering.
Yeah, because look, that's wearing on that bit there. Yeah.
Rears look great. Rears look like
Rears
they're
look
spot on. I just think we need another PSI or 2 out of your fronts.
David's experience and a little bit of brake heat. His brakes are getting too hot. So Nick's car's actually got the FL5 brake air duct scoops that we've modified to fit the FK8. So we're just going to swap them round since Nick's not running the last round. I'm going to swap them round and just see if that improves David's brake cooling a little bit. So we'll give that a go, see how he gets on in the last round.
They weren't necessarily marketed as such, and so they flew under the radar. But as a result, that's a car that really Alexander walked on a whole
On to session 4, which is the final session. So this is where it really counts in terms of are you going to be getting a trophy on that top podium or whatnot. Anyway, as you can see to my left, I can proudly say that yes, I was able to get it on top spot. I also set a new class lap record as well, 1:38.4 I think it was. So yes, very, very made up. I had some objectives at the start of the day of what I wanted to achieve. Breaking a brake line, going grass cutting was not one of them, or 2 of them I should say. However, everything else has been ticked. Massive thank you to all my supporters, BTT, YGHB, Dixall, but also a big thank you to Dream as well for sorting me out that brake line. Without Dream being here and chucking me a brake line, I wouldn't be going back out and I wouldn't be walking home with a trophy at the end of the day. So yes, we've got 3 weeks now till round 2, a little bit closer to home at Donington. Really looking forward to seeing the guys, what Nick can get up to around there. It is one of his local tracks. I'm expecting him to be very, very fast around there, and all being well, whatever niggles he's got, it's in safe hands with Dream.
Well, we've just finished today at Cadwell. Round 4 didn't quite go as expected. There was a couple of crashes. Obviously, with it being super attack, people are pushing that a little bit further and sometimes it goes wrong. The whole experience today has been fantastic for both my first proper racing experience. It's been great. The people have been great. The Dream Automotive guys have been fantastic providing support for the vehicles. My performance today went pretty much as we expected. We set 3 goals today. First one, survive. I'm here to tell the tale, so must have survived. Second one, unfortunately didn't meet it. We didn't get fastest in SRE class, but we were close. And the third one was to beat our target time of 1:44. Happy to say, almost immediately in round 1, we set a 1:41 flat, which was officiated at 1:41.6. So overall, we knocked it out the park. This is a fantastic experience, especially as a novice racing driver, and I'm looking forward to round 2 at Donington.
Guys, it's the end of the day. It's been like an episode of EastEnders, this has. It's literally been the day that's given us everything. We've had trials, tribulations, heartbreaks, victories. It's been a good one. So for our first outing in the car, and obviously my first round of time attack, it's been a massive learning curve. I mean, just figuring out how the day works and how they run everything. First session, we're doing even better times than I did yesterday in practice. Improving again, you know, out of 1:38s into 1:37s. Second round, into the 1:30s, deep 1:37s with a 1:37.1, so we're nearly touching the 1:36s. And then unfortunately, we had an issue with the gearbox that's prevented us from basically being able to shift into 2nd and 4th gear. So after looking at things, we think that we've probably bent a gear fork, which is an issue that's come across once or twice in other cars. So something that we, kind of expected we may have a problem with at some point. So I think now really developing things to see if we can fix that issue and, fix it permanently. But for the long story short, it's been an incredible day and I've had so much fun today. Even with all of the stuff, it's just such an experience. Like there is so much going on. With all the other cars that are running, the drifting, the Honda Racing series and everything, it's been a really exciting day. And we've modified live here too. It's been the hustle and bustle, people walking around, we've been talking to people. about the car and about their stuff. It's been really great. So the running of the day has been fantastic, to be fair. There's been very little waste of time with so much going on and everything to keep in order. It has been really, really well put together. So, you know, big obviously shout out to the Time Attack team. They've done a really great job. And for me as a brand new person coming in, it's been a great first experience. So I literally cannot wait for Donington. So we're going to get the car, put on the trailer, take it back. The boys at Dream are going to obviously take it back at some point, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of what the issue was and find a really good fix for it. And then we'll be back at Donington for round 2, ready on home turf, because that's my local track. And then we're going to put some real good numbers down.
Just finishing up after the first day here at Cadwell Park. We've had plenty of ups and downs, lots of things to experience. We've had issues with cars, we've had cars off track, but all in all, we have got bags of data to review, lots and lots of footage gathered. So if you've enjoyed watching today, hit the subscribe button, as we've got plenty more to bring to you.